What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Jeremy the Machine Scott. Today we're going to discuss weight loss and weight gain and what can affect this and what plays a big role in your weight loss or your weight gain. So I'm going to give you some good tips on weight loss and weight gain. But before I give you these good tips, make sure you subscribe down below and hit that like button. And don't forget to share this video as well. So I'm going to give you some really good tips on weight loss and weight gain after you hit that subscribe and like button. Let's go. So, what are some factors that are going to affect your weight loss and weight gain? This is actually something that is one of the most important factors, not what kind of diet you're doing to lose weight or not what kind of diet you're doing to gain weight. If you don't pay attention to this, then your weight loss and your weight gain can be affected majorly by this one thing. This is called a caloric surplus or a caloric deficit. This is the law of thermodynamics. You got to take this into consideration. So all the calories that you eat and consume and take in, each and every single calorie has to be accounted for. Okay. So if you burn 2,000 calories throughout the day, let's say that's your total calorie burn from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, everything that you do throughout the day, walking around, taking your kids to school, walking the dogs around the block, cleaning the house, total calorie burn from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed is 2,000. And you take in more than that. Let's say you take in 2,300 or 2,500 or whatever. If you end up eating more than the amount of calories that you burn, those excess calories, those will be accounted for. They don't disappear. They don't go away if you don't burn them. And how do you burn those calories? Well, there's two things you have to do. You have to simply move more and you have to eat less. That's going to put you in a caloric deficit. Once you can constantly stay and consistently stay in a caloric deficit day in and day out, your weight will start to drop. It can't just be sometimes. It can't just be for a week. It's got to be consistent. Okay? If you're inconsistent with your eating habits, if you're inconsistent with your diet, if you're going out with friends, having drinks, not counting calories, not keeping track of what's going in, this may affect you. Now, on the other end, if you eat the right foods, if you eat nutrient dense foods versus caloric dense foods, if you eat single ingredient foods versus processed foods, it's going to be a lot easier to be at least at a maintenance or maybe even get into a caloric deficit. When you eat the right foods, it's very, very, very hard to overeat. Okay? If you need to know a list of the right foods to eat, go to www.quickfit1.com and you can get a free 7-day meal plan on my website. So you can get an idea of a starting point. So on the other hand, if you want to gain weight, if your goal is to gain and you're not gaining weight, you want to get some mass, you want to get bigger biceps, bigger quads, you've got to get the muscle to grow. You got to give it what it needs to grow. So you got to be in a caloric surplus. You got to take in more calories than you burn. Every calorie gets accounted for. You burn 2,000 calories, you need to take in 2,500. What happens if you go too high of a caloric deficit? Those excess calories that don't get used to build muscle get stored as excess body fat. That's when you bulk or when you dirty bulk, and you start to eat too many calories and it starts to spill over into excess body fat. If you just want to maintain, then you burn 2,000 calories and you take in right around 2,000 calories. So like myself, I eat the same foods every day. I'm at a maintenance. My body weight's about 186, 187. It fluctuates a little bit. My diet's pretty much the same. I eat 5 ounces of protein each meal. I eat my egg whites, 2 pieces of sourdough for breakfast. I have my shakes. Very consistent with my diet. I don't eat out very much. I don't eat processed foods. My weight just stays the same. And I eat all good, clean food. Now, if you're eating bad food, if you want to fit in McDonald's and a bunch of protein bars and other stuff that are not nutrient dense, these foods are caloric dense. Okay, if you eat them too much, everything's about having the right balance. But if you're struggling with balance, you might be struggling with maintaining your weight. You might be underestimating your calories. These foods that you think are not so bad, or you think your diet's not that bad, but you just don't know why you can't lose weight. Well, guess what? It's that bad. That's why you can't lose weight. Okay? If it wasn't that bad, then you'd be losing weight. You'd be reaching your fitness goals. So you need to change the internal dialogue that goes on inside your head and say, well, I thought it was good, but it's not good enough. So I must be doing something wrong. Let me hold myself accountable, track my calories. So caloric deficit or caloric surplus, if you're trying to gain, trying to lose, you need to be in a caloric deficit. You can't trick the law of thermodynamics. This is a law. Okay, it's there. You can't break the law. Okay, energy in versus energy out. All right. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below. Jeremy Scott, out.